Hello, I'm Michael Redmond, professional 9-dan Go player. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Black's invasion against White's position on the upper side. In this variation of the basic Joseki I'm showing in the upper right part of the board. I made a video about this Joseki in my basic Joseki playlist, and so I'll put a link for that video up there and in the comments down there, just in case you haven't seen that video. It's quite common for Black to have some kind of a corner enclosure in the upper left corner when White plays this Joseki in the upper right. So when that happens, sometimes Black will play an extension against White on the side here, this stone. So the marked stone. When this happens, what's most important is that it's usually not good for White to immediately answer this. For instance, if White were to play a move like this, then one of these two stones would be mostly wasted. And it would be better to have two stones, for instance, at these two mark points. Or actually best just to play this move elsewhere on the board. So almost always White will play away. For instance, something like this, a big move, a big opening point. So to start this video, I'm going to be talking about a variation, an invasion that we see a lot of, but White does not really have to worry about it too much. It's quite common for Black to play an invasion here. It turns out that computer programs nowadays do not even give Black a very good score when Black has hurried to play this move immediately. So White can just concentrate on connecting these stones above. So it's important that White makes a connected shape on top and not trying to start a fight. So like, for instance, the thing that White should not be doing is to cover on the third line and give Black opportunities, for instance like this, to split White in two. For instance, this kind of variation would be very dangerous for White, with two White groups, one on each side. So this is something that White wants to avoid. It's much better for White to just cover on the top and create a connected shape, such as I'm showing here in this position. And if Black curls around, White can just play away. So in this position, although Black has scooped out the White territory, it was a mistake to think of that as territory to start with. So it's just that Black has consolidated this area, and White can be happy having taken these 2 points. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you an invasion that I like. Here we have a modern looking opening. You can see that Black has played the direct 3-3 invasion in the upper left corner. And we have a common Joseki in the lower left corner. So the Joseki I'm talking about in this video is the one in the upper right. So when we have this position in the upper right, there is a point where Black can invade in almost any board position. And this is the one that I'm going to suggest is Black's best invasion. That point is here on the second line. When Black invades in the second line, Black is threatening to connect up to the corner. And Black is also threatening to invade the left side of White's, in this case it's White's moyo. So Black is looking at 2 points. Black is looking at the connection underneath here. Also a vital point that Black is thinking of playing at some point is this large nice move to the third line. Also Black has the jump here. So Black has a number of directions that Black wants to move with this black stone, and the question is, how is White going to stop all of those? Well, it's going to be very difficult for White to stop all of those moves at once. So I'm going to suggest that White's best move is to allow Black to connect. And so the way White is going to do that is White is going to start with this forcing move, which is threatening to cut in the corner. So Black has to protect against this cut. And then White just attaches on top. In most of the cases in this position, this is the safe thing to do. And Black will be able to play a hane here and then connect up to the corner. So Black has gained a significant amount of territory in the corner and has reduced the lower side area. In return, White has gotten some thickness towards the center of the board and does not really have to deal with this position anymore. For instance, covering here on the third line would be small. It's not forcing. Black would not save the one stone, and it's premature. White does not have to play this move yet. It's better for white to play something elsewhere on the board. If black does continue locally, white can easily stop it from getting too far in with this sequence. So it's not as if black can get very far into white's territory. In fact, crawling here is probably not even a good move. So I'm going to stop this variation here. This is what I suggest for both players. Black invading at this point, and white simply covering from above with this move. Another move, which is similar in meaning and is seen a bit, is white's kosumi. This also allows black to connect underneath and protects white's position with sente. But I don't like this as much because black has some forcing moves against the white position. For instance, at this point, any move like this, or black might actually start with pushing through and playing the peep. Black has this extra forcing move. Black also still has the option of reducing white's territory on the upper side. And so I think this is inferior to the other variation just because of the fact that black is getting this extra peep on the outside. So I'll repeat myself and say that I think this is the best move. However, one must know that there is another option for white, and that is to play here and start a fight. Compared to the other variation, this is the more complicated variation, because black does have to find a way to make a living shape. Black has two shapes to play at this point. One of them would be standing straight, which is usually more difficult. It's the relatively easy variation for white to enclose black and keep black on the side. So the other shape, the jumping move, is probably the better move. With this move, it's just slightly more difficult for white to close black off. White has two options here. White can still play from the center, or white can play the pillar in the upper side. So this is going to lead to a running fight, and this one is going to have black trying to live on the side. Why don't we do this one first? In this case, white is stopping black from erasing this area. So white is surrounding this area and is also threatening or hoping to connect underneath with a move, for instance, like this. White can connect up to the stones on the right. And although black is invading white's area, it does make sense that black wants to keep this group on the right relatively weak so that black can have a relatively even fight in the center of the board. So black will play here to cut the white group off. So this is cutting white's group off. So white will probably just play out. In which case, black also will have to move out with those three black stones. Maybe like this. And a fight with both sides running out into the center will follow. So I'll suggest this variation. You can see that both sides still have unsettled groups. So this white group, it does not have two eyes. It looks like white could make maybe one eye for the time being, but it doesn't have two eyes. And black also, with this group, doesn't quite have two eyes. But they are both out into the center. And so the result is that black has reduced white's area to just this area. Black's corner is fairly unscathed. It still has more than 10 points. And the stones will be running out into the center. So there's the added value that black is reducing white's potential in the center of the board. We could return to this point and see that if white had chosen this other variation, if white had chosen this variation, white would have had a great deal of potential in the center of the board, with so many stones pointing in that direction. So I'm going to call this this fight with both sides running out into the center, I'm going to call that a success for black, because the center has, white's potential in the center has disappeared. Another way for white to play would be this one. Now this encloses black on the side, and if black tries to get out with this, white can wedge here and cut black. And this is probably not very good for black. If black takes, white just pulls back, and the ko there, black has to do something about that. If black just connects, black is left with a very weak group on the side. It's not going to die, but white has very nice shape with capturing the one stone here and playing a big point towards the corner with this move. Looks like white's going to have compensation here. So instead of doing that, this is the time for black to play this move towards the side. As I said, when black plays the first move, this was one of the points that black was looking at. So at this point, it's when black should play this move. And black has enough space in this general area to be alright, I think. White will probably push here, and then black pulls back. Surrounding this territory on the third line, usually a territory of about this size, this would be what I call an 8-point area. This would be plenty of room for black. Otherwise, even a smaller area like this sometimes is good enough. So black is trying to make a territory with stones lined on the third line. And we can see this is the variation I would expect to happen. Already black is getting close to enough area on the side here. It's a good time for black to play a forcing move from the outside, threatening to cut here. So white will answer that. And this would be an even variation where black does have a living shape on the side. Just one example out of many potential fights, but this is where the variation ends. Black has lived on the side, and white still does have some potential towards the center. But I would not say this is as good for white. Although white does have the center, you can see that black played a move or so towards the center on the right here. So I will finish this video by going back to the point where black is invaded, and say that in most cases, white's best answer is to play here. Actually, to play once here, and then to play here. And after this, black has the option of connecting underneath. But that's okay for white because white has a very strong position towards the center. So this is the variation that I think people should remember from this video. And after that, white can just play away. For instance, white can play here. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. So give me a thumbs up if you did. And please remember to subscribe to the channel. So thank you for watching.